Hey, Dr. Amanda Lynn here. How are my Marfans, Ehlers Danlos, and loose connective tissue patients doing out there? Guys, it's time for us to exercise. We have finally been allowed to exercise. They were doing some studies up at OHSU. My son got invited to help try this out because we like to do a lot of sports in my family and stay active and lift weights. So that's always been a rebellious, extreme thing to do. And for me to help explain to my patients to do this, and now it's finally seen like, oh, maybe we should do some exercise so we can stay strong. Yes, it will reduce your pain. It will help you stay stronger and more vital in your later years. We put on muscle during our teens, we will be able to have much better access to building muscle easier as adults. You stay on top of it as an adult, then it'll be easier as you age. We get a lot of pain from our joints going out. What can hold them? The muscle surrounding them. And that's our constant struggle, right, is to not be too loose and not be too tight. The muscles will come in and go over tight to help correct these really loose joints, which is great, but you've got to stretch them, you got to relax them so they don't go too far. And then helping support them so they don't always have to do so much work. So I'm big on, before we ever start with exercise, reinforcing those joints that are really weak for you. You need to get elbows. If that's your weak point, you need a shoulder compression brace if you have your shoulders are loose, and back help support there. I mean, we've got the finger supports for Ehlers Danlos, cervical necks. There needs to be a little bit more for necks. I would like to see something besides just the whole neck brace. There probably is something out there. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm needing something currently for an elderly patient who's a little bit, doesn't always want to do everything we tell them. No! Compression tights, SI joint belts, low back belts, compression shorts, compression socks. You guys know the drill. Get it all on, and a whole torso one if you have Ehlers Danlos before you go work out. Posture is huge, and then pre and post buildup of your protein and carbs, because we are going to build muscle, and I don't want you guys being sore afterwards. You're going to be a little bit sore. We're going to flare up after we went too far, and you're going to learn, how much can I go? Oh, now I'm sore for a week. I will get sore for a week when I go in with my trainer who really pushes me, but I feel great. I'm doing it. It feels good. Then I get out, I'm like, oh man. So I really got to keep up on amino acid, branch chain amino acids afterwards. Something like this, an amino acid supreme, or just your good shakes that have some good protein in it that you like, pea, rice, what have you. I always recommend medical grade. We'll get into some of those a little later. So, OHSU, what are they allowing? Well, I go in for my yearly review with my son. We had our echoes and we had our discussions with the doctor about getting told, oh, you're doing too much weightlifting. Well, actually, she just told me I couldn't increase it anymore. I had to just stay where I was at. But I'm sorry, I'm going to slowly increase it. I'm going to go where I'm at, but if it's time to go up to the next level, I'm going to go up to the next level. We will build up, everybody does. You build up actual strength before you see the muscle build up. So just know you're going the right way when you start your training. You're noticing the strength coming in. If you're not noticing the strength coming in, you're going to want to look at your adrenals and testosterone levels and consider bringing on a lot more protein pre and post, or these really easy to assimilate branch chain amino acids. For those who have like leaky gut, difficulty with digestion, And if that's the case, I'll be having a webinar here soon to help out with what we can do for first steps of some leaky guts that we all have. Because we have loose connective tissue, we have loose GI lumens, as it's called. So, OHSU doing their studies. I'm sure they're open. Anybody in the Portland, Oregon area who'd like to go in and help. I probably won't do it personally, and I'll try and do some new ones. Just getting on my desk. Sorry. Strength, they recommend only 2 to 3 times a week. I prefer to do this more to 3 to 5 times a week that they say to do with the aerobic workouts. I'm not a big aerobic workout person. I would prefer to do some hiking. Well, their aerobic workouts actually do include just walking, hiking. They go into even to kayaking, frisbee, tennis, the elliptical, which is great, low impact aerobics, calisthenics, and bicycling or yoga. Yoga definitely can, and certain workouts and classes get you up to a more of aerobic level. I utilize yoga more for my yin practice of calming the body and mind together to be the relaxing, stretching kind of more of a modality for me. Those are beyond my off workout days or when I'm just too sore. Definitely, I don't put yoga in aerobics, but there's definitely some aerobic yoga classes. But I focus on the strength. So much on muscle physiology, learning for us doctors to actually test muscle. Being under muscled is far worse than being over adiposed, too much fat. So really want to make this laying down of muscle being one of our goals with Marfan's Ehlers Danlos hypermobility disorders. They recommend with the strength training that's again 2 to 3 times a week, 3 to 5 exercises total with 1 to 3 sets. Usually I do like at least a 3-4 set of around 4 to 5 exercises with a 1-minute rest in between sets. Great idea. Or you keep them. My trainer, and it's good because then I get the aerobic in, has me do the whole set and then I get my minute break. And then I go through it again in about 4 times of about, 3 different strength training, mobility, improvement, whatever focus we're going to do, from the plank to, dragging the weights for you, or doing the farmer's carry where you're carrying weights, strengthening your grip there. So no straining, no grunting, and no weightlifting. I do weightlifting. I'm not going to recommend anybody else do it when their guidelines really are over the waves here. My individual patients I'm working with, I'd be able to help you a little bit more with who's okay to push these recommendations a little bit more, like myself, who's a little bit more active of a Marfan's patient. I was lucky I didn't get it as bad, right? Because there's definitely varying degrees of levels. So happy to continue weightlifting and supporting people to do that. And looking at the breathing would be a really important next step too. Making sure you breathe out when you're pushing up, breathing in, you coming back down. Sometimes, that coming back down can be even harder. So wherever if you're holding tension at all, that's when you need to exhale. Typically it'll be when you're pushing back up, when you're exerting. But like I said, sometimes coming back down is really difficult too. So you might need to stop at the top, take a breath in, and then exhale back down. So feel where you need to be with your weightlifting there. I really recommend a trainer who can watch you. My trainer caught me after 45 years. Well, I guess I started ballet at 12, so 23 years of breathing the wrong way because I was trained by a Russian ballet instructor who was a CIA agent behind the Iron Curtain, brought over from her Baryshnikov teachers ballet to us. We're third generation of classical ballet, Baryshnikov ballet, which is unheard of in the United States because nobody could get beyond inside the Iron Curtain. So I'm really grateful for all those experiences. And God knows that helped me lay down and get a good foundation. As they say, when we're teens, that's the time to lay down our muscle to hold us through our adulthood, make it much easier to continue to maintain this already basement layer of muscle. But with the Russian ballet dancing and any Russian training, you breathe the opposite time. You breathe with exertion. You would hold it when you're pushing up and exhale when you come down. And he caught that I was doing that, didn't even realize it. When I paid attention, I would, but when I would just go into auto, that's what I was doing. So have somebody watch you. You always need that strength training too if you're doing anything big, but guys, just do small stuff. Just do 2 to 10 pounders type of thing. It's all about low and slow. Just do low amount of weights with more reps, right? Low weight, high rep is how we're supposed to do it. Awesome. So lastly would be, I get questions all the time for how do I lay muscle down? So it's all this plus making sure the diet is right for this, right? So let me throw my curly hair that likes to get all frizzy. A ponytail here and grab some of this stuff. Okay, so I showed you this easy handy one I'm using for my son. I'm using a couple different ones, but Designs for Health, really great company. Can't say enough. Link in bio or calypsonaturalclinic.com, calypsoclinic.com. There's a Buy Meds tab going right to Designs for Health. Isn't a bad idea. I have, because they are gonna guarantee everything a lot better and they're really fast. Organic pea protein plus from them. This is a very clean pea protein with the greens and antioxidant fruit blend, vegetables already in there. You have to get very, very picky organic, not USDA organic. When you're going to get concentrated fruits and vegetables, because you're concentrating down everything, all the nutrients, you're going to concentrate down all the chemicals, all the glyphosate, all the inorganic compounds you won't be able to break down that were absorbed in farming practices that we have outside my door. I'm watching it. It is not a clean industry anymore, or if it ever was. These guys are doing garlic and they're spraying fungicides all over the place. Garlic doesn't have anybody who's gonna come eat it except me, but not theirs. Whew. Other thing I really love, well, there's a few things with Designs for Health that I really like. This is awesome superfood powder. It's in chocolate. I can add this into any just protein shake to make sure, bam, we get our greens in for the day. It's kind of hard to get your 12s, right? Get 12 fruits and vegetables. Especially in the kids. So this is really tasty. You can just even add it to milk or water. A couple scoops, not bad at all. And then the last thing with Designs for Health is their pure paleo bone broth protein. Do not use this if you have Ehlers Danlos syndrome, because you have a histamine SNP that is continually causing all your tissue to be weak and loose. And bone broth kicks on histamine in your gut. So I have lot of support about that cycle for my patients, and starting in the gut is definitely a needed place to calm down that immune system. And I will be having a free webinar on gut health and how we can get a hold of that main, besides the muscle, that GI tracts our other main system we got to be working constantly to keep happy, as well as managing our pain, right? Last but not least, Metagenics has an advanced protein for the management of sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the wasting away of your muscles. I bring this out for my elderly patients or my teenage boys. Young men specifically want this to help build up muscle, understandably, with Marfans. How much does it work? Well, we still have the genetics. It's going to happen. It will help you lay down, have the nutrients to lay down muscle, though. There's no guarantee. You're not going to be able to have muscle without really great protein. Protein anywhere from 25 to 50 grams per meal. If you're doing 3 meals a day, I mean, there's things out there about 1 gram per ideal body weight is what the amount of protein you need to take in. Saw that on Mike Munsel's podcast when he was recently interviewing a doctor who's ripped, buff, doing all this muscle physiology research, and she was a gerontologist. Dr. Gold, I believe her name was. So yeah, that is going to be finding a really good protein shake. Don't get anything that's not clinical grade when you're going at this concentration level. I would recommend. There's other brands out there that might seem good. You know, use them up, but then when you can, try and get the medical grades. There's definitely other types. We've got Ultra Meal Daily support. This is just kind of nice with the multivitamin in there with it. And then something like this, Cardio 360, to help with management of dyslipidemia. That is when you don't have enough good fat to help with your bad fat combinations. So I think we've covered quite a bit here. If anybody has any questions, feel free to hit me, leave a comment, like down below. I appreciate your support and sharing this with anybody who might have Marfan syndrome, Ehlers Danlos, or just long, skinny, and very flexible and having difficulty putting on weight. This would be for them. Great. Dr. Amanda Lynn. You can find me on Instagram or at my websites and contact me there. Definitely sign up for some freebies to get more support at Calypso Natural Clinic or dramandalynn.com. Thank you guys. Have a good night.